Greetings viewers and subscribers. So in our journey today, we are now at Southsea Park in the parish of Westmoreland. We have just passed the border of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. Now, we are going to drive slowly down the road. The first right turn that you're going to see, that first right intersection. That intersection or that right turn, it leads you to the community of Long Hill, Petersville, and some other areas. The last story that we are going to bring, it occurred in that area at Long Hill. 2 ladies were shot and killed by hoodlums. You're going to want to stick around for that story. But the mayhem is continuing. Yeah man, the mayhem is continuing. You have seen the thumbnail. Between 3 o'clock Wednesday morning, Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, and last night, Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, at 10 p.m., 8 persons were killed in Western Jamaica. And those are the incidents that were reported. We don't know if anything happened overnight. If it happened, we are going to bring the details to you. But 2 persons died as a result of a traffic accident. And the other 6 persons, they were killed by hoodlums. 3 of them are females and 3 males. Are you tired of the mayhem? Because I am. Trust me when I tell you. I sit here on a nightly or a daily basis, sit down around my laptop, voicing the videos. And trust me, it is heartrending to say the least. What is happening to our little country, Jamaica? Our beautiful, when I started this channel, for those who know the history of this channel, we started out with the name Popeye Tours TV because we have interest in the tourism industry. We have a company in the tourism industry. So our plan was to go around and showcase Jamaica. We wanted to use the channel as a means of advertising our business. So we wanted to go around the 14 parishes of Jamaica, make some videos, and showcase Jamaica. The pandemic came into being and we had to switch gear. But that is still our interest. We would like to see the day that we can drive around, go to some craft market, go to some man on the seaside with them boats, go out to sea with them, some little areas that we want tourists to visit, make some videos and showcase Jamaica. That is what we would like to do, and we are hoping for that day. But the reality is, and we always tell you, some people have talked about speak things into being. We have to face reality. The reality is, here we are today. These guys, we don't know if them have no heart. Well, them have heart, but the question is, what kind of heart them have? What kind of heart can someone have? You step in a business place, 2 ladies are inside of it, and you open gunfire, killing both ladies. You know what? Let's move into the stories because it's gonna be long. This first incident, it took place last night, Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, about 9:30 p.m. It took place along the Hague Main Road. Now, if you know the Hague Main Road, you know where that King Pepper Factory is? Like you're leaving Rock and you're heading towards Falmouth. That is where this incident took place. Now, what we are learning is that 2 motor vehicles were involved in this accident. One of them is a blue 2011 Toyota Fielder. Now, this Toyota Fielder, it was being driven by a man from a Trelawny address. The other motor vehicle that was involved is a white 1991 Toyota Corolla motor car. This motor car, it's owned by a lady. Her name is Miss Audrey Jarrett. Miss Audrey Jarrett, she is 54 years old and she's living at Duncans in the parish of Trelawny. She is an employee of the Roehampton White Sands Hotel in Trelawny. This vehicle, it was being driven by her brother. Now, her brother's name is Mr. Aston Jarrett. He is 51 years old and he's also living at Duncans in Trelawny. What we are learning is that Mr. Jarrett, He had gone to Roehampton to pick up his sister and was heading home. So they were heading from the Falmouth direction, they were heading towards Duncans. The Toyota Fielder, it was coming in the opposite direction. Now, the reports are that the Toyota Fielder, it was in the process of overtaking a line of traffic when it collided head-on with the Toyota Corolla that was being driven by Mr. Jarrett. As a result, there was a serious collision. The passengers in both vehicles, they were injured. They were rushed to the Falmouth Hospital, where a passenger, his name is Mr. Kemar Sinclair. He's 33 years old and he's from Clarkstown in the parish of Trelawny. He succumbed to his injuries. The driver for the car who had gone to pick up his sister, Mr. Aston Jarrett, 51 years old, he also was pronounced DEAD. Now, Mr. Jarrett's sister, Audrey, age 54 years old, and like we told you, she's employed to the Royalton White Sands Hotel. She has been admitted in hospital in a very, very serious condition. At the time we were recording this video, we made some checks and she was still here with us. So, let's hope that she stays here with us. The driver for the Toyota Fielder, the man who was overtaking the line of traffic, we are told that he too was admitted in hospital. He received injuries to his right forearm, his right leg, and his right ankle. A passenger who was in the Toyota Fielder, his name is Mr. Edwards. He received injuries to his neck, his back, and his right shoulder. So this accident, based on all the reports, were caused by the man who was driving the Toyota Fielder. Let's hope that he is made to face the consequences. Him live nearby, you know. Him live very, very near. In fact, he lived at Rock District. So where was he hurrying to? That he has to be overtaking a line of traffic. The mayhem on the road continue. Now, onto the crime scene. This one has been making the rounds. It's all over social media. It took place at Bottom Road, Roehampton, in the parish of St. James. It took place early yesterday morning, Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, some minutes after 2 o'clock. Now, there was an interview done by S. Gleaner reporter, Mr. Hopeton Buckner. We won't have the time to put it in this video, but I implore you, you need to go and listen to that interview. Just go on Facebook or any one of the platforms and type in Albert Reid. Albert Reid is the father for the 15-year-old girl that was killed. Her name is Toni-Ann Reid. So you can type in either Toni-Ann Reid or Albert Reid. You need to listen to what that father had to say. But here is what we are learning. Oshane Spence is popularly known as Private. He's also called GARTH HEAD and KARTEL. Private, he was 24 years old and he lived at Roehampton. It is said that Private, he was a shotter. He was a hoodlum. Are you getting my drift? So Private was no clean person. Him go around and him rob people and him kill people. In the mornings, Private would get up because his baby mother lived nearby. So in the mornings, he would get up and he would go and check with his baby mother for breakfast. So yesterday morning, Wednesday, January 12th, early in the morning, about some minutes after 2, we are told that residents of Roehampton, they heard loud explosions sounding like gunshots. But guess what? They didn't bother to call the police because it's a regular thing, especially coming from Private's house. Him always down there fire shots. So yesterday morning, he was supposed to go to his baby mother for breakfast. He would go there like 6:30 or minutes to 7. So she prepared breakfast and was waiting for him to come for it. But he didn't come. So she went down to Private's house. When she went to the house, she saw that the door leading to Private's bedroom was open. When she made checks, she saw Private lying on the floor. He was bleeding from his head. She also saw young Toni-Ann, age 15 years old, on the bed. She was also suffering from gunshot wounds. As a result, an alarm was raised. The police were called, and when the police reached on the scene, all they could do is process the crime scene. They then took Private and Toni-Ann to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where they were pronounced DEAD. When this crime scene was processed, our information is that 9mm Spence shells were recovered from the scene. Like we say, this one is all over social media, so there is no need to elaborate. Moving right along, this next incident, it took place yesterday afternoon, Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, about 3 p.m. It took place at Bread Lane. Now, Bread Lane is in Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. Our information is that a man, his name is Dimitri Dawson. He was popularly called DIMI. He's 21 years old and he's living at Bread Lane, Paradise Norwood in Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. Now, we are learning that DIMI, he was at a bar at Bread Lane. It is said that he was approached by hoodlums who opened gunfire at him. The hoodlums, they then made good their escape. The police were called in, and on their arrival, DIMI, he was seen lying inside of the bar. He had gunshot wounds to his head and his upper body. DIMI, he was taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced DEAD. Our information is that when this crime scene was processed, 6 9mm Spence shells were recovered from the scene. So, we don't know. We haven't yet gotten any information as to who DIMI really was or why he was targeted. But if and when we get that information, you know that we are going to be bringing it to you. But the mayhem. Now you remember that yesterday we brought you a story. We told you of a man who was shot and killed by hoodlums at Bottom Melbourne in the Salt Spring area of Montego Bay. He goes by the name Chin. We also told you that Chin is a top tier member of the G-City gang in Montego Bay. He was shot and taken out by hoodlums. There was another incident in the same area last night. This incident, it took place close to where the incident with Chin took place. So this one, it also took place at Bottom Melbourne, Salt Spring in Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. It took place, like we said, last night, Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, about 9:30 p.m. Now, here's what we are learning. A man, his name is Shevon Robinson. He's popularly known as Beans. He's 28 years old and he lives at Bottom Melbourne. Now, Beans, he was at his home with another man. Both of them were inside of the house. We are not going to give the name of that man. We are told that whilst they were inside of the house, they heard loud knocking on the door. They heard persons outside shouting, "Police! Police! Open the door!" Both men, they became suspicious, so they did not open the door. The hoodlums who were outside, they kicked off the door and entered. But by the time they entered the house, the other man who was in there with Beans, he managed to jump through a window and made good his escape. The hoodlums, at point blank range, they opened fire at Beans. Beans was hit in his head and his upper body. The hoodlums, they then made good their escape on foot in the area. The police were called in, and on their arrival, they found Beans lying on the ground. He had gunshot wounds to his head and his upper body. They processed the crime scene and took Beans to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced DEAD. Now, the other man who jumped through the window, we're not going to say much about him because we don't know what is known by the hoodlums. So we're not going to say anything else about the man who escaped. But here's what we are learning. These hoodlums, they were armed with M16 and AK-47 rifles. When this crime scene was processed, we are learning that 4 7.62 Spence shells, along with 7 5.56 Spence shells, were recovered from the scene. Now, just in case you don't know, 7.62 is what is used in an AK-47 rifle, whilst 5.56 is what is used in an M16 rifle. If and when we get further details as to who Beans was or any other information, we will be updating this story. But the mayhem. Now, if you are here and you have been watching this video so far, If you have not yet hit on the like button, remember to hit on it. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, remember, hit on the subscribe button, as also hit on the notification bell, then click all, so that you will be notified as soon as we have uploaded a new video. And remember, keep on telling a friend to tell a friend. Now, in the final story for today, and this one, it took place yesterday, Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, some minutes after 2 p.m. It took place at Long Hill District, Whitehouse, in the parish of Westmoreland. The lady you're seeing on your screen, her name is Miss Sophia Brown. Sophia, she was 45 years old. She's a businesswoman and she lives at Long Hill District. That next lady that you're seeing on your screen, her name is Miss Bernice Lewis. She was 58 years old. She's a domestic helper as well as she's a farmer. She also lives at Long Hill District, Whitehouse, in the parish of Westmoreland. Now, let me tell you a little thing about Sophia. Sophia, she has been operating her business place for many, many years. Sophia also do liquors and consignment. So say for example, you are in the Whitehouse area or anywhere and you are keeping a party. You know you're keeping a party and you don't have the money to buy the liquor, or you don't want to buy the liquor and you know sell off, and then you don't know what to do with it. Sophia, you can go to her. As long as she know you or you are recommended, you could have go to her and tell her that you want some liquors for your party. When the party is done, whatever liquor is left, you return them to Sophia and you would pay the difference. So, during this course of business, there is no doubt in my mind that there are persons out there who are still owing Sophia money. Because this incident, at first we thought that she was robbed, but Sophia, she was not robbed. The hoodlums who came for her, they came with one thing in mind, that was to kill her. They did not take anything at all. They came, they did it, and then they left. So here is what happened in this incident. Sophia was inside of her business place. Miss Lewis, she was also in the business place. Sophia was in the process of packing out some goods. We are learning that two hoodlums, they entered the shop. One of them, he ordered 2 pounds of chicken. Sophia, she went for the chicken and was about to cut it up when one of the hoodlums, he pulled a gun and shot Sophia right in her face. Miss Lewis, who was standing inside of the shop, shocked and frightened, the hoodlum, he then turned the gun on her and shot her, also directly in her face. Both hoodlums, they then walked out of the establishment and made good their escape. Sophia, she was rushed to the Black River Hospital by relatives, but when she reached the hospital, it was too late. Miss Lewis, she was transferred to the Savlamar Hospital, but from all indication, she may have died on the spot. When the residents went into the shop, there was still some life in Sophia, so they hurriedly took her to the Black River Hospital. But at the Savlamar Hospital, Miss Lewis, she was officially pronounced DEAD. When this crime scene was processed, we are learning that 2 9mm Spence shells were recovered from the scene. So the hoodlum, he fired 1 shot in Sophia's face and 1 shot in Miss Lewis' face. Now, like we said, this was no robbery. Even though Sophia had money in the business place, none was taken. So somebody contracted these 2 hoodlums to take out Sophia. Who was it? Who was Sophia money and no one pay her? Was Sophia in any argument with nobody? Because we are being told that she was a quiet person. She don't argue with people. We are also learning that over the years, Sophia had been robbed at that location many times. We are digging. Yeah man, we are doing some digging. And if and when we get further information, we'll be coming back to you. But the mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.